Cadet Warrant Officer Class 2 Ruby Mitchell. Once the Regimental Sergeant Major has taken her position, she will marshal the drum corps. The drum corps is made up of cadets from 54 who have spent the past 12 months practicing for this parade. This parade is the second year in a row where 54 has provided a drum corps. Taking their position, the Regimental Sergeant Major will marshal the cadets and companies. The companies are made up of the majority of cadets from both 224 and 241 Army Cadet units. Running each company are the company sergeant majors. The company sergeant major for the first company is Cadet Sergeant Peter Flynn. The company sergeant major for the second company is Cadet Sergeant Xavier Buckle. Once the companies have taken their positions, the parade sergeant major will hand the parade over to the parade PIC. The parade 2IC for today is 24 Battalion Cadet Under Officer Samuel Peter. Once the parade 2IC has taken his position, he will marshal the company officers. The first company is Cadet Under Officer Tom Newton and Cadet Under Officer Elliot Giannis for the second company. The company officers will replace the company sergeant majors in front of the company, and the company sergeant majors will move to the rear. Once the company officers have taken post, the parade PYC will hand over to the parade commander. The parade commander for this parade is Cadet Under Officer Emma Anderson. Once the parade commander has taken her position, she will march on the Australian national flag. You may now be seated. The parade commander will now welcome the host officer to the parade. The host officer is Daniel Whittaker, the brigade training cadet under Officer for New South Wales. The parade commander will now welcome the reviewing officer. The reviewing officer today is Brigadier Colin Bassett. Brigadier Bassett is currently the Director of Land Mobility and Support Program, where he is supporting the People's Army as the Capability Manager to modernise the Joint Land Force with a focus on the threat mitigation and requirement setting phase of capability life cycle, ensuring alignment between Army's programs to deliver phase force Brigadier Colin Bassett has been in the Australian Army for just over 20 years and has had the opportunity to travel all over the world. He started as a reservist and soon transferred into full-time. Brigadier Bassett is a husband to his wife Diane and father to Caitlin, Tim and Sarah. Sarah Bassett is currently on the parade with us today. The parade will now do a march past, where they will then do an eyes right when they go past Brigadier Jackson. ambassadors will then address the company panel.
Thank you. I first wish to begin by acknowledging the Ngunnawal people, the traditional owners of the land on which we gather here today, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. And because our Army has a long and proud history of Indigenous service, I'd also like to acknowledge all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander men and women who have contributed to the defence of Australia in times of peace and war. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and most importantly, the cadets here on parade. Thank you very much for inviting me to review this very important event today. Today we gathered here at the Australian Defence Force Academy Parade Ground to witness the 224 and 241 Army Cadet units in the conduct of their annual end-of-year parade. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think you'd join me in saying, don't they look amazing? I must compliment you on how you have turned out. Your dress and bearing is impeccable. And the precision in the drill that you have shown today has brought great credit to both your staff, your unit, and most importantly to you. Well done, you look fantastic. I've been on enough parades and stood right where you are right now to know that I've remembered a couple of times that I wished that the reviewing officer would keep their address short. So I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to keep my speech nice and short for you. In many years of service in the Army, I've been lucky enough to be part of some pretty special things. March out parades of Army recruits down at Kapuka, graduation parades on this very parade ground, substantial brigade ceremonial events up in Townsville. But I must say, so on Thursday night, my wife and I had the opportunity and the privilege to witness 241 Army Cadet Unit recruit graduation parade, where each new recruit was recognised and granted the privilege to wear their slouch hat on this parade ground here today. I loved it. It made me reflect on how special this organisation is to our community. On Thursday night, I witnessed that at each recruit had their name called. They marched out to their officer commanding and exchanged salutes. Their OC would then invariably and kindly correct them and present them with their much loved slouch hat. The new cadet would then take those two tentative paces to the right, which is a hard drill movement to do, to then present themselves to the extremely impressive Regimental Smart Sergeant Major, where he would then adjust that slouch hat on their head before offering some kind words before they were allowed to march back as a cadet and join their mates. I know that that was a big deal, and I know it was a culmination of a number of a lot of time spent training. We then had the privilege to be introduced to a new phrase that I hadn't heard before. The two cadets that were aging out meant that was their last parade, which was one, due to their breaching the Army cadet age restrictions. One of those cadets was the then cadet sergeant, company sergeant major, who I suspect is on parade here today. What an impressive young man. He's elected to enlist into the Royal Australian Air Force and will commence his training early next year. So Thursday night for me was a period of rejuvenation in the Australian Army Cadets. New cadets were joining the ranks as older cadets were departing. It was a special event and reinforced for me the importance of the Australian Army Cadets in our community, which really brings me to today's parade. I know that this parade has been the culmination of many hours of learning, training, rehearsing, polishing, ironing, and then conducting this parade. I know that for you to be here on this parade ground today, you've had to do so much. You've had to sacrifice your time, commit to something that is bigger than you. You've had to commit to your instructors, your leaders, and most importantly, you've had to commit to your mates that you will be here today. Ultimately, that you wouldn't let them down. These are simple things, but they're important. You've committed that you will do your best here today, and for that you should be extremely proud of yourself. I've been in the Army long enough to know that life is complicated. But in the Army, we like to make our life simple and make simple rules for ourselves. I encourage you to take the lessons that you've learned that place you on this parade here today and apply them to how you conduct yourself when you're not wearing your uniform. Simple rules. Listen to those in authority. Always be respectful. Be precise in your life and do the simple things well and be really good at them. Don't let things get too complicated. And if they start to get complicated, just like your drill instructors have taught you today, break it down into simple lessons, get good at each part of that drill movement, and then put it back together. Drill is like life. Life is like a big parade. And you've demonstrated us today how good you are at parades. Keep the simple things simple, do them well, importantly, never give up. I wish you all the very best in your time in the Australian Army Cadets. It's an excellent opportunity to learn about yourself and to grow as a young person in a complicated world. Well done on making this investment in your development. I want to thank all of the Australian Army Cadet leadership, parents, grandparents, carers and loved ones that have supported their Australian Army Cadets. It's an excellent community-based youth development program that is helping our young people. Thank you again for inviting me here today. What a wonderful way to end a year before we all break to celebrate Christmas with our loved ones, or at least I hope you get the opportunity to spend some time with your loved ones. Like I've said, I've been involved in some pretty special events in my career, but none are more special than Thursday night and being here today on this parade and witnessing your performance. The pride that is on display here today tells me how special the Australian Army Cadets are and how important this organisation is to our community. So all the very best and well done 224 and 241 Army Cadet Unit. You do look amazing. You've done a great job here and I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
The parade commander will now farewell the reviewing officer Brigadier Colin Backwood, and the host officer, Cadet Under Officer Daniel Whitaker. The parade commander will now march off the Australian national flag. He is requested that all visitors stand and for men to remove headdress and for all members in uniform to salute when the flag passes directly to your front.
March off the Australian national flag! Parade! Reset! March!
Cadet Under Officer Emma Anderson will now hand the parade over to Parade PIC Cadet Under Officer Samuel Sprucer. Parade PIC will now march off the officers. The Parade PIC will then hand over the parade to Sergeant Major Warrant Officer Class 2 with the uniform. Parade Regimental Sergeant Major will now march off the parade.
Right, stand at ease! Stand at ease! Right, attention! Stand attention! Right, move to your right! Right, turn! Right,
Awards for 224th and 241st Army Cadet Unit, we hope you enjoy our parade today. A series of awards will be given out after the conclusion of the parade, and we invite all visitors who wish to see the